So the idea is that we're just going to mate up the business ends of these right now. So I'm actually going to do the bow drill, but I'm not going to go for an ember right now. So, and then again, my bearing block is on my knife. This kid's been out here all the way from Indiana, so no promises. We'll see.
Here's Kelly's workstation here.
You see it smoking? I'm gonna let it char in. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Now's the fun part. Hopefully Kelly can distract you while I carve in my notch. I don't have my Leatherman. Does anyone have a Leatherman or a Swiss Army knife with a saw blade?
While he's doing that, I'll start to talk about mullen.
Yeah, do that.
This is mullen when it's in the live state. You guys have it all over. We just collected this today from right out by Dearborn Creek. So this is what it looks like when it's alive, and when it dies, it's like this. And what you can do, you can actually use the seeds sometimes for fire also, but you can just break off part of this, and you want to smooth down the edges, and you're going to make a spindle to make a hand drill. And a hand drill, you kind of use it like that to make a fire. So if we have some time, we'll do that as well. But I wanted to show you, there's different methods. This is the bow drill. This would be the hand drill using just a spindle and a fireboard at the bottom, which Clint is carving. And then in my episode, you might have seen the fire plow. That's another method. It's really easy to do with bamboo, if you happen to be in an area they have bamboo. So you kind of tailor make your primitive fire making kit based on where you're at and what kind of materials you have available. So you have to be adaptive if you want to learn how to do this in different continents or different countries. It was the first time Clint had ever even flown on a plane. He went to Panama and survived, and I had never been to the whole continent of Africa. So certainly it was an interesting experience for both of us. But this is mullen. We actually both just happen to be really, really interested in wild edible plants and wild medicinal plants. So while Clint's doing that, and he can interrupt me when he's done, I just thought I'd introduce you to another plant that you all have here. Does anybody know what this is? It's actually called yarrow, and its scientific name is a little different, but it was named for the Greek god Achilles, and that was from, basically he was a warrior, and it's a blood stopper. So you can find these on most continents, actually, across most of North America. So this is yarrow. It can be used for so many things, I couldn't even name it all. But one of the things is blood stopper. You can actually make an herbal tea just by taking the leaves of it. So you can actually eat this, also, but it's better in the tea form. And when you make a tea, it can be good for digestive ailments, diabetes complications, a lot of different things that it can be used for. So this yarrow is very versatile. Where I'm from, originally in Michigan, I currently live in Alaska. It's so important in the Ojibwe culture, the Chippewa culture, that they actually dry it and place it over their doorways, meaning good luck. So you can Google it. There's probably over 100 uses for yarrow. So it's a very medicinal plant. A lot of our plants that we have are not just edible and medicinal, but they're actually kind of the roots of pharmaceuticals. So a lot of things that we find out there are actually help us in more commercial drugs as well, but they all have these bases that are natural. It looks like Clint's ready to go, so we'll switch gears here.
Yeah, I want to talk about the mullen plant, guys.
Oh yeah, he does something a little different with it.
You guys have seen this, I'm sure, growing on train tracks. It is all over out here. Back home, the soil's a little richer, it seems like, so this grows in waste areas. But out here, I found it. I just came up from Colorado and was finding it in Rocky Mountain National Park. So it grows all across the country. It's called mullen. It's nicknamed lamb's ear, or the toilet paper plant.
Very good toilet paper.
If y'all want to pass these around,
you have to
you'll
know
see
what
why.
to use for toilet paper if you're out
You
there.
get you some cowboy toilet paper here. You pass that around. You'll feel right away it's like Charmin on the stop. So
It works very well. I will attest to that.
this plant's main use is for respiratory ailments, such as any kind of asthma, or you wake up, especially if you're out camping or backpacking, and you wake up and you're just a little, So you can either make a tea out of it or you can smoke it. And what's ironic is you think smoking is bad for your lungs. It actually clears out the stuff. It's an expectorant. So what will happen is, even when I have this stuff in my car, I'll start sneezing. You'll snot up and you'll get rid of all the crap that's in your lungs or whatever. So it's called mullein. It's also really good for eardrops. If you take these flower buds and you put them in like an olive oil or some kind of oil and put them in the windowsill and let them sit for a couple days, it's really, really good for eardrops. But mainly respiratory problems is what it's for. Toilet paper, of course. And also too, this is a second year plant, okay? If you're gonna use it medicinally, you want the first year plant, which I don't have an example of, but it's a rosette, it's a 2-year plant. So this plant would have died here in a couple months. It would have burned up and it would have looked like this. And that's what we want. So I don't know where my knife is. So now Native Americans would take this and dip it in pine pitch, pine sap, which you all have tons of out here.
Which is edible.
And
All pine's edible except the long needle pine,
exactly.
by the way.
And make a torch out of it, and this thing will burn. It's a great little flower bud there. But anyway, you can take that off, and there's your hand drill. Mullein's excellent for hand drill, not so much for bow drill because it's pithy. So it'll work for bow drill, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of frustrating. Okay,
and if you wonder about bow drill, or hand drill, by the way, there's the world champion. I believe his record is like 1.7 seconds. He's actually a friend of mine. He can make fire a tinder, a live viable tinder in that short time. So you can practice these skills. You can look them all up on YouTube. Clint and I both have YouTube channels, by the way. One other use for yarrow, by the way, I make an herbal tea out of it for sore throats, just to let you know. And I talk a lot because I'm an adventure guy, so I talk more than I ever thought I would.
And there are poisonous lookalikes for yarrow, so do your research at home. I don't know how much there is out here, but back home we have several poisonous lookalikes. If you really know what you're looking at and you do your research, it's not a big concern. So, that being said, I'm going to try to get an ember here with the bow drill. And then Kellie's got the hard part. She's got to blow up the flame. Okay? So this is just labor intensive right here. So I'm just going to warm this kit up. And when I start seeing smoke, I'm going to lay on the downward pressure. And I'm also going to pick up my speed. How's that tinder bubble?
Good. It's ready whenever you are.
We got an ember here.
So you have to look for a viable ember. Just because you have smoke doesn't mean you have fire. So he's moving it around a little bit, and we're looking for, of course, a glow, meaning a viable ember.
Now we're on concrete, so moisture isn't a huge issue. But notice I'm still stepping my business ends of both my pieces of my kit up against my bow.
So he has an ember that quick. Clint made an ember. So now it's up to me to make fire. Yep. And you can go ahead and help me too if you want. Yep. I've already done that.
This jute twine is shooting it tight. There you go.
Fire. That quick. Good job, brother.
Sweet, thank you.
That was the first time we ever rehearsed that. It's
Watch
worked.
your shirt.
My brother from another mother.
Love your content.
Oh, thank you. I don't want that to work.
Cool.
Good job, Clint. Awesome. Bow drill, primitive fire.
Nice.
Let's drink some beer.
Yeah.